Hello and welcome to the replay video series. I'm your host, Direct, and today we'll be looking at WhippyWig once more, this time on Reinhardt on Oasis. As of recently, I think he climbed to Diamond, but he's still a Diamond and sometimes drops to Plat quite often. So we will take a look, this time at his Reinhardt. Again, this is a competitive game, so don't expect any communication or something from your team. To begin, I will be going over the team comms again, once more. So we have Ryan Zarya, which is a good combo. We have the farm Mercy, which means Mercy will be mostly focusing on the heals for Pharah and damage boosting. We have a Reaper Brig, which means we want to play kind of brawl, which, you know, implies that the Reaper, the Brig, the Zarya, and Reinhardt are going to be pushing forward into the enemy team, trying to overwhelm maybe the Reinhardt, their front line, with loads of damage coming in onto one target. You have basically a rushdown type comp with a pharmacy. A Lucio would have been maybe better here to get to your targets, but we will see how it will work out with the Brig. Enemy has not picked so far. Let me just unpause for a second. We can maybe see the enemy pick.
5, 4, 3, 2.
So okay, the enemy goes McCree. I think he will stay McCree.
Round 1.
Yes, he will stay McCree. So regarding the enemy team comms, they also have the Ryan Zarya, which is going to be matching your Ryan Zarya. They have an Echo Mercy, which means they will be having airborne characters too that will get pocketed. You know, their Echo is going to get pocketed by the Mercy, just as your... you actually swapped to a McCree. Okay, you don't have to Pharah anymore. That's quite unlucky, but still. You don't have an airborne anymore, which means this is even more brawly than before. The Mercy is now completely out of place. Should have gone for like a Moira instead or something. They have a hit scan. You have a hit scan. But they have the Ana, which is of course better than a Brick in their type comp. Because if you would have stayed Pharah, the Ana would have been better than the Brick. Because the Ana can of course more reliably heal the ground targets than a lonely Brick can, and she can support the airborne characters such as Pharah and Echo, which Brick can do too, but Brick is just less healing overall. Now we will be seeing how this will play out. This will be first fight, which is neutral fight, which means no ultimates, no nothing, just abilities and cooldowns. So Echo used sticky bombs. You kind of wasted some shield resources there. That's fine though. That's a risky charge. That's a very risky charge. Your Zarya didn't have didn't have projective bubble. Your Brick is an upfront with you, but if the enemy Ryan has a counterpin, which he does, in higher ranks he's just gonna counterpin you and you're dead because you're alone in the front line right now and there's no cooldowns to save you. Try to not charge the enemy Ryan if you know the enemy Ryan has counterpin and he has a better position than you and your team has, because now you're just gonna get caught out. If you would have countercharged you would have been dead, just dead. If the Ana would have slept you, which she doesn't have sleep, she might have missed it or something, because she just used it. If the Ana would have slept you, would have been dead in high elo. Just the McCree could have flashed your pin. Just don't go for so aggressive pin angles, especially into a non-favorable position like this one. Because you're just gonna get punished in higher ranks. The Rhino could have countercharged you, like I said, and you would have been just dead. Because your team is too far away from you to help you. and don't have cooldowns to save you if you go in. So the brick kills the Ana and stops the res, that's good. There's no real reason for you to shield here. You're kind of wasting shield resources again. We could criticize that you would have had to like stay at the front line there, but what I would have liked from you, instead of just, first of all, you could have totally just let one of your guys cap and you could have just stayed at the front line protecting your team. Second of all, when this happened, right? You're the front line. You're supposed to be in front of the brig. Try to escort her to the back because you have 1300 shield. See, she's still in front of you. Go forward and try to save the brig. Now she will die. And she's dead, you know? Could have tried and like walk forward to like save her a bit. I usually recharge. Don't shield, don't shield. You need to be aware of what's around you. You're sometimes shielding when there's nothing to like shield in the first place. You're just shielding yourself and you have a massive HP pool normally. Should be safe. There's a McCree behind you. There's an enemy McCree behind you. Ah, yes. So what I said, I heard the flash behind you, so I knew he was behind you. Here you cannot do much. I would jump into the grav here, maybe, to try and shield my team. Would have blocked the shatter, but if the McCree would have been a bit faster, he would have stunned you before shatter hit. So now you just die because they use shatter, grab, Valkyrie, and you didn't have ultimates except for Valk yourself, which is a waste, of course. Excuse me. Still pretty much the same comms. Playing a Reaper still. You're tunnel visioning quite heavily again. Look at what you could have gone for instead. Okay? You see the Reinhardt, he's nanoed, right? You could have charged him to prevent him from killing anything. That would have been a thing you could have done. You see the Ana, you think, okay, the Ana is a free kill here. So you charge the Ana. The Zarya is right next to you, right? The Zarya is like over here, behind you, right next to you. You see her blood splatters down here. Instead you go for the Ana that's here. Which is fine. But then, okay, as soon as this happens, right? You charge and you get stuck on this ledge. This Ana is not killable for you anymore because she is as fast as your walking speed. So if she just walks away from you, you're not gonna get her. Instead, turn around and go for the Zarya. She's 1 HP here, so she would have been a one-swing kill. Now she's gonna reach back up. Because everybody ignored her, she's not on the high ground, and the break, of course, chasing her down. You eventually gonna finish her. That's nice. That's good. Resetting her charge. But then again, you could have killed her much earlier in the first place. So the enemy now swapped to a Sombra. Now you need to be careful of turning around like a mad lad trying to stop hacks onto you. Because if she gets a hack onto you, the enemy has a free shatter here. You need to be aware of that the enemy has Shatter and they have a Sombra, and you need to stop your hack on yourself and stop the Shatter. You'll see if you'll be able to do that. That's not that easy, because sometimes you need to turn around 180 degrees to block the EMP sideline and then block Shatter 180 degrees again. You can go a bit more aggressive here than missing one healer. Or your team decides not to. Your brick decides to and feeds. Now you're in a even matchup. Your Reaper saves it a bit. Again, a bit of missing awareness. Some like late reactions, some missing awareness. I heard the Reaper behind you. You could have turned before he shot you. When he shot you, you didn't even shield it, and then I heard the hack spikes, and you didn't shield towards the hack to stop it. So the Echo Shoot cancels into a Blossom. This might still be winnable though. You get res. Hold the front line. Charge jump in. Counter charge. Good counter charge. Good counter charge. Yes, you can shatter them there, because it's last fight anyways. That's good. Using ultimates last fight is the best thing you can do, because it's last fight anyways. Try to secure the fight with ultimates and don't just keep your ultimates. That's a mistake many players do, and that's why you lose fights sometimes. Is just because you don't use your ultimates, even though it's like, for example, last fight. Also, again, I want you to hug corners a bit more. You play either behind cover and do nothing, or you play just in the open with your shield up. So I would like you to like hug walls and corners a bit more. The Rhino is free kill here. Good pin. One thing about pin hitbox, okay? You saw him vacuum quite hard here. Right? Back some seconds, right? You saw him vacuum very hard. Like... this pins, okay? Now, here's my explanation for why this pins. And... we know that this pins, okay? We need to go back like 1 second. We know that this pins, okay? The reason this pins that's hard to fucking pause. Okay, never mind. The reason because this pins is, although he gets like vacuumed out of oblivion, the reason this pins is because Reinhardt's pin hitbox. So when you see Reinhardt pin, I'm gonna try to explain it when you stop swinging. On your natural stance. Okay. Give me a nice angle here. Okay. So the reason vacuum pins happen is because Reinhardt's hitbox gets moved when he pins for some reason. This is like partly a bug and they never fixed it, so abuse it as much as you can. Reinhardt's hitbox is normally like gigantic, right? His hitbox is like this almost, right? This is Reinhardt's hitbox normally, right? But when Reinhardt pins, we're gonna ignore the bottom part of course, but like his hitbox is like this at this point in time, right? This is Reinhardt's hitbox. These parts in between also counters Reinhardt's hitbox. But if he pins, the pin hitbox is here. the pin hitbox is like this. It's like a rectangle. And you realize I've moved it a bit to the right, okay? Reason for that is because the center of your pin hitbox, for some odd reason, is like this shoulder area. This shoulder area is the center of your hitbox when pinning. Which means if a target is to your right side when you're pinning, right? This is your right side when you're pinning. Our left right now. If somebody is here on this side, they will get knocked away instead, right? They will get knocked away in whatever direction. But if they are on this side of the pin, our right side, your left side, they will actually get sucked into you. They will get sucked. It doesn't matter, they will get sucked. Because the hitbox is so far on our right side and your left side, it is actually insane. Like, the hitbox of pin is actually pretty large, and it's shifted to your left for some odd reason. Nobody at Blizzard has ever explained this, and I doubt they're gonna fix it. So abuse it as much as you can. This is your center pin hitbox. Okay, good. Capping point here is fine. I want you to take a bit of more of an aggressive angle after capping. Okay, you lose your Mei. Don't block Shatter and get hacked afterwards. I like corner playing. Do that more often. Play those corners a bit more. The Reinhardt is now a free pin target. You could try and bail out your Zarya. Alright, is a free kill. Nice. Again, be aware of what could hit you if you pin down main. Or pin like into the enemy team. You did see the McCree there, probably, so you should have known that he has flash to stop you. This is gonna cost you the fight, actually. Maybe. Because now their main tank is back, and you are not back yet. Your mate tries to save it with freeze. Ooh, if that hack would have gone through, you might have died. It was good that you went behind cover, but it was a close one. You can shatter this to save it. You can shatter it to secure. Usually. I know you're low HP, so you need help now. Back. That's a wasted grab, if I've ever seen one. It's a 5v3. The fallback call is nice here. It's a 4v5. Your brick gets stunned, that's unlucky. Wait for your Reaper. You still have Shatter and Valkyrie, so you should be able to maybe win this. They have EMP, which they are gonna use next fight. That's after all. That's a good pick off here, Reaper. They have 4 ults though. They're gonna win this fight, regardless. You shouldn't use Shatter here. Shatter? No. Shatter. Good, because now it's winnable, because they didn't kill anything. That was a good decision. you can go a bit more aggressive. Save your brig. Play corners, nice, play corners more. Again, vacuumed into you. Another attack with the Reinhardt hitbox is manipulating the Reinhardt hitbox. So I can't really show it that well now, but I will try. Since your Reinhardt hitbox, right, is, I don't know, this is a bit annoying. Okay, so your Reinhardt hitbox, right, it's a gigantic square, right? So it's a square, and this square is of course going up front from like these 4 points, of course a bit bigger, right? It's like a massive square, it's like a box. A box, right? In front of Reinhardt. So when you pin, of course it's a bad angle, but still, when you pin as Rein this cube, you can turn it to, like, if the Reinhardt is like, the back of Reinhardt is like here, right? This is like the back side where the Reinhardt is at. This like behind square. So if you play Reinhardt and you start pinning forwards, depending on if you either like go left or go right, doesn't really matter. The hitbox of your pin will actually turn with you to either left or right a bit, which will manipulate the corners of your pin hitbox towards the enemy, which will make them more likely to get sucked in, right? So they are more likely to get sucked in when you turn your pin towards them instead of just pinning forward into them. Like if there's a target, like and you pin at them, if you turn at them, you know, as soon as they get detected by one of the edges, they get pinned in. They usually get sucked right into the middle of your pin. I know I'm bad at drawing, but still, I hope this explains it a bit. You can manipulate the pin hitbox by turning while pinning. It's similar to how Doomfist can manipulate his punch animation when turning, right? When his punch animation goes like this instead of going forwards like this, by having a certain movement. But in this case, it's not only the animation, but also the hitbox. Anyways.
Victory.
So what I liked about this plays were your overall knowledge about the game. It's kind of neat. You still have some issues with positioning. I'd like you to hug walls way more. Sometimes you just get caught out in the open, and because of it have to waste shield resources, and sometimes you even shield when there's nothing to shield. Like, you can take damage, right? You have some HP, you have 500 HP plus your healer's effective HP heals. So don't be scared of some like poke damage. Of course, like if they have very, very bursty, chunky characters like Widow, you need to be more careful, but as long as you play near walls, which are basically indestructible barriers which block shots. So as long as you're playing in walls, you don't always need to shield for yourself, for example, because you were wasting some of the shield resources because of it. I like it to maybe start shield hopping sometimes. I saw you not really doing that. And be aware of when to pin, what to pin, and how your pin works. For example, in the beginning we saw you wasting your pin on... I mean, it wasn't wasted, but in this scenario it had value for no real reason other than for it, like, you got value here when you shouldn't have. When you charged into the enemy, you shouldn't have had value because they had a million cooldowns to stop you, so be aware of what you have to bail you out and what the enemy has to stop you from going aggressive. Especially when you go this aggressive. The Ana could have stepped you, the Ranger would have pinned you, and so forth. So, yeah, just overall, look out for your aggression cooldowns and stuff. Also, I don't know if you really do it, but ult track at least the enemy Rein's ultimate. You should know how much charge he gets off of one fire strike, or like a pin, or the kills he gets, and how much damage he has done, and how, if he is close to ultimate. You should know that. And also, if you can do that, track ult changing fight changing ultimates, such as Grav, or for you even Nano, EMP, stuff like that. So if the enemy has Nano, for example, you can't play as aggressive as you would normally do, because if you do and you don't have enough resources to bail yourself out, or your team does not have enough resources to bail you out, you might die to the enemy Rein getting nanoed. So just ult tracking a lot of ultimates, not all of the ultimates, of course, if you can't do that, but you should just learn trying to track ultimates in the first place, which is very important, especially in higher ladder. Just knowing what ults the enemy have, what do we have, and such. Other than that, I think again much more room for improvement, but I see some points where you are definitely decent at what you're doing, to say the least. You definitely sometimes know what you're doing. You seem to have a clear path and strategy to what you're doing, so I think you can climb if you just, you know, take, again, some things away from this video. Doesn't have to be everything, but still, you can improve, and if you do, you climb. So yeah, this has been me, Direct, talking about WhippyWig, our wonderful Reinhardt tank player, and I see you in the next one. Smile.